It's the first report that has pulled together all of the information which the proponents have submitted to the Queensland Government in the assessment of the environmental impacts of their schemes or mining proposals in the basin. And what we've attempted to do is to combine this so we can have an overall global look at what the potential impacts are of all 9 mines if they were to be approved on the water resources of the area. From my perspective, I think if all 9 mines were approved, there's potentially major impacts on the groundwater resources of the area through the mine dewatering process. If all 9 mines were approved, we project that it's around about 1,350 gigalitres of water extracted during the life of those mines. That's 2.5 times the volume of Sydney Harbour. We're looking at 34 open cut pits and we're looking at 11 underground mines in these proposals on a strike of 270 kilometres stretching north-south. We looked at the impacts there. There's over 400 bores in a radius of 20 kilometres around those mine leases, which potentially will be impacted. Some at least 5 metres drawdown, some of them up to 70 metres drawdown, and that's in the admission of the proponents themselves. And the cone of depression of groundwater will extend 30 kilometres wide and up to 100 kilometres long. It's like a big sinkhole, because what we're looking at is the pits of the mines are a lot lower than the actual aquifers, so they'll drain out. One of the other concerns we have, and we think there's a fairly high potential for some impacts there, is on the recharge of the Great Artesian Basin. And one of even in the Waratah report, it's interesting to see that they do agree that there's a tongue of that particular mine lease. It stretches across the Great Artesian Basin recharge area, but they quickly discount it as having any impact. Now, the independent expert scientific committee, which was set up by the Commonwealth Government, are really concerned about that potential impact on the Great Artesian Basin, and we share their concerns. The landholders have got every reason to be quite concerned because they've been there, that's been their source of water for their livestock and their domestic supplies for many, many years, and some of those people will lose their water supply forever. So far, there's been no study done, or if there has, it hasn't become transparent to us, and yet the approvals are still going ahead. Water is the key to survival. If we destroy the resource through mining operations there, it's going to be very, very hard for those people out there to continue with their primary production. I think what we should be looking at is we should be looking at putting a stop on any further approvals or assessments at this stage until we get a cumulative study done for what the potential impacts of these mines will be, and until we have a look at the total package of impacts on the water resources of the region there, our view is that there should be no further approvals granted.
Running water, you can kill the fire that burns inside. Don't deny our flesh and blood. Don't forsake our sons and daughters.
I love this country. It's a beautiful part of the world. As far as mining is concerned, well, to my mind the two don't mix. Running cattle and mining.
You can't stop running water.